Welcome to the Viking Horn, official podcast of the Nottingham Vikings Ball Hockey Club. You can find out more about our club on our website and on all social media. For YouTube channel viewers, you'll see the links on screen. Anyway, let's sound the Viking Horn. Hello, welcome to the show then. We've got the usual suspects with us today. We've got Mike Lee, Benny Tring, Dan Powell. We've got two newcomers to the show. We've got Joe Straw, Vikings new signing for this summer, and Harry Toon from GNR8 Academy, and he also plays football for Sileby Town. Starting off with Ball Hockey then. Since our last show, Ball Hockey UK, governing body, they announced that the leagues throughout the country, pretty much our league, the Midlands leagues, have been finalised. That we're not going to carry on with those leagues. The positions have been finalised. I'm going to pass you over to Mike in a second to give you the full details on that. Vikings finished fourth. I just want to ask Benny, as a coach, fourth place for the Vikings last season. What are you going to take away from the season just gone? Because can you take much away from it?
What I take away from that season is we did a lot wrong, and I don't expect to see us do that again.
I can't argue with that. Yeah. Would you imagine that? Would you imagine that we'd have probably finished around that position if the league had continued?
It's a tough one for me. I think with the oppositions that we had coming up, we were going to run into some tough opposition to finish the season off. I think we would have finished there or thereabouts. To be honest, I'm quite glad the season's over, because I was pretty embarrassed with our results as a team throughout the season. And there'll be guys on the team that say we had some great results, but I don't think there was one game where I sat there and went, we played amazing.
No, I'd have to agree with that. I think I've mentioned on the podcast before, we've gone from our rivals in the league, in terms of who we have the best games. I'd say probably Hull. We went from beating them twice in the league and in the playoff final last season to losing against them twice this season. And so for me, it's a backward step for me that we need to get over and improve on next season. But moving on quickly, Mike, you're going to give us the full details of the final league standings throughout the league.
After that cheery intro.
Yeah, no, a bit of it might have been the drink last night. But,
yeah, maybe. So, yeah, you're right. It ended prematurely, cancellations of all national competitions. But in terms of a summary for the Central Conference, starting in Tier 1, Notts Werewolves and Nottingham Jackals. Apparently they've shared top spot, and we're waiting to see whether there's going to be a playoff, because I guess when we can actually get back playing again, they're going to have to decide who's actually going to take the title. I think that's where we're left it, Benny, isn't it? And obviously they haven't been able to play it, and I guess they'll decide whether they want to or not. What that does mean in terms of Tier 1 is there's been a demotion so that Manchester Millionaires have come back down to Tier 2. So for us, that's going to be quite interesting, because I don't think it's since probably the Reapers days where a few of our original roster probably played against them. We're going to have a new team to play, hopefully, in this coming season. Tier 3, it's been quite a competitive season, just with a few games, really. But I guess the Timberwolves have got the promotion up to our tier as well, so should make for an interesting season, to be honest. So hopefully all's well. We should start again. But the question I was going to ask is just around the whole decided by points per game. Probably the most sensible, fairest way of doing it. But I guess what it meant for us was we actually ended up joint fourth, where I think we were now actually behind Sheffield Knights. But had the placings played as they were, then I think we would have been above Knights. Is that right, Benny? not that it's academic now, but I think the placing we've actually ended up joint fourth behind Knights and Hull River Kings, who I think would have been in second place regardless. So
Yeah, I think the points per game finishing off the season probably did us a bit of a favour, to be honest, because there was a few people that forfeited games against us because they just didn't want to play us because they knew they'd get dominated. And because of that, actually, those average points per game kind of helped us through the back end of the season where we would have played against some of the tougher opposition. So it's hard to say which way that would have gone, considering we never actually got a chance to play against Greasley, who were walking all over the Tier 2 division. So it would have been an interesting one. Not quite sure how that would have meant for us and Knights, but the points per game for me probably did us a little bit of a favour.
Yeah, and actually you mentioned Greasy Bears. Congratulations to them. They've been promoted to the top tier as well. So, yeah, I think that covers all of the promotions and demotions. But looking forward to a new season. And obviously we brought in some new blood to, shift things up a bit.
Yeah. We've got one of them with us today, who's on mute at the moment. Oh, there we go. He's back. We'll be asking him a few questions in a minute. But yeah, congratulations to all those teams that have won the league. It is a shame we haven't been able to finish the seasons off to get a full reflection on how those leagues would have finished, but there's nothing we can do. And just quickly, it had to be that decision in the end, isn't it? Like they've done the right thing, haven't they? Yeah,
I think so. I think it starts to get to the point now where when you've still got half a season to play and your 2019-20 season is going to be finished in a 2021, it's almost a bit like, what are we playing for now? So it absolutely was the right thing to do, in my opinion.
How confident can we be of starting a new season on time or whenever it's sort of planned in, I guess? Can we be confident at the moment of anything like that happening?
I think it's hard to say. Our season was meant to start officially and usually in September, although games tend to start in October. So realistically, we should probably have played our second, maybe third or fourth game by now. Cool. It would be great if it could happen in January, but it all depends if ball lock is on Boris Johnson's radar and if he lets us get back soon.
Yeah, I think something that is probably a little bit more on the radar of the governments around the world. Dan, I'm just going to come to you quick because you're obviously meant to be competing in Olympics next year. Like, how confident are you at the minute that you're going to be fighting it?
I am literally little to no confidence that it's going to go ahead next year. I just, there's been, the chairman of the IOC has turned around and gone, that's the International Olympic Committee, has basically gone, we are not running this event without a crowd. Now, that's an international crowd, people coming flying from everywhere, proper COVID-y places. And, it's just going to, I just can't see it happening. Not before there's an immunization or, something like that. I just can't see it happening. I
think it's a good thing for him to say as well, because you can't have the Olympics without fans. Like, it is, a lot of it is about the spectators and where they come from and supporting their athletes from all over the world.
A massive, integral part of the games itself. It's like athletes, train for years and years to get to this point. It's a main sort of catalyst of success is getting the crowd behind you and all that. It'd ruin the athlete's experience, but I think it just wouldn't be the same, at all. It's just, but yeah, I hope it goes ahead. I do, and I can't see them postponing it again for another year, because then that'll, if they did that again, then you're talking it's only 2 years away then till the next games. It'll be the same year as the Commonwealth Games, same year as the Winter Olympics. It won't be postponed again. It'll either be on or off. And in my opinion, it's not going to happen. which brings me to the end of the most depressing podcast so far to date.
Yeah, we've started on a bit of negative foot there. Harry, I'm coming to you quickly because football, they have started again. You're not playing at the moment for injury, obviously, which we'll go into a little bit later. But how's around Sileby and the league, the level that you're playing at? Are they happy that they're playing, or is there a little bit of are people worried?
Oh no, 100%. Not within the team. I think everybody's just been really eager to get back to it. Obviously, they had like quite a long break this year. Obviously with my injury, it's been like a little bit of a kick in the teeth. But the side is really, really good, like a really strong side this year. And I think don't think we've lost a game yet. I feel like we're going to push for the title. So it's quite a strong group of lads that are down there. And they're doing really well, to be fair. So I think everybody's just eager to play and eager to win. Excellent.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that we've got some sport back at least in terms of football, low league football, so you can get back to playing again. Right, yeah. Benny, what's got you frothing at the mouth this time?
What's got Benny frothing this week?
It's an interesting one this week. It's WhatsApp.
Oh.
Or as I like to call it, what's the point?
Okay, let's go for it.
So it's not new news to people that obviously I'm on like things like Tinder and stuff like that, trying to find the future Mrs. Tring. And when you get talking to someone, they always want to talk on WhatsApp. And it's like, well, what's the point? Like, I've got a phone. We only want to text. So why can't I just use the text messaging function on my phone? Why have I had to download a separate app to send you a text? And they'll come out with all sorts of bollocks like, oh, it's so that we can like send each other pictures and stuff like that. Well, if you haven't got an iPhone, you're clearly not part of the
21st century.
The 21st century. Yeah, you've got an Android, therefore you're part of like this inferior race, and we need to download a third-party app to kind of support your lack of, I don't know, knowledge. Wow. I don't know how to put it really. Like you're pretty much inferior if you haven't got an Apple phone, and I've now got to do things on WhatsApp to support you, Pete? And it's just shocking. What's the point?
Pete? It does depend what picture you're sending by text, though, Ben.
Say that again, Mike.
Oh, it depends what pictures you are sending by text.
Well, only these people will know.
I know Dan wants to cut in here because he's experienced what some, namely me, is like, who hasn't got an iPhone. Do you want to talk us through it, Dan? I
borderline agree with Benny. To be fair, I was just wondering what your opinion was, Pete.
Well, hold on. Dan agrees with me.
Borderline.
Well, I mean, I personally think iPhones are overrated. To be honest with you, I mean, if I want to do some of the things on there, I'd use my laptop.
So now you've got another device.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with the WhatsApp thing. I'd prefer to use text message. It's and also if you're out and about, you've not got Wi-Fi, you're using your internet up, aren't you? Whereas if I use my text messages, I'm not using my internet.
What about the Android's camera? What's your opinion on that? Compared to the iPhone.
It's a potato, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the pictures Pete sends me, I'm like, mate, did you take that with like a 1950s camera?
Well, the answer is pretty much sometimes yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big tech guy when it comes to phones. If I can send a text or ring people on it, it does a job for me. I'm sounding a little bit like my grandma used to, but that's just how I feel. My phones have never been really a big thing for me. Bring back the Nokia 3210.
Yeah. So if there's any tech companies out there that want some sponsorship and want us to trial some stuff live on the podcast, then, send us your phones in.
Yeah.
We'll test them out. Benny,
If we don't like it, we'll probably call
won't be
you
me.
out.
Benny will send some sexting.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And the camera better be good.
I probably need an Android for that.
And
that's
to take the photo.
It's an interesting one you brought up today. I do agree with it. Yeah, with the whole WhatsApp and text message thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people use it for group text and stuff like that. But if you've got an iPhone, then iMessenger is just that.
To be fair, Sileby's group is in the WhatsApp group. Like everyone communicates over there. It's just an easier way of getting like availability and stuff. But
well, they are quite annoying, those group chats.
Yeah. Why do they always start at 10:30 at night? Why does no one talk all day, but then at 10:30 at night the group chat lights up?
Yeah, they ping off. Yeah, we have two separate chats. One for like availability, and then the other one just for like social. I usually keep that one on mute because I don't really want to see some of the images. I don't know when I'm there. family dog walk or something.
I mean, we've got one for Generate, the Generate Legends chat, and that's just used at key points. It's not. There's not a lot of messing about on there. It's just we just use it when we need to. That's all it's needed.
It's that I think group chats stuff like that. I'm all about efficiency on the phone. It's like pick the phone up, order your dinner, put the phone down. I don't have a chat. Not much of a chatter. I don't like to have excessive amount of group chats. There's group chats for everything, absolutely everything. It's hell. It's I'm just not all about that.
No.
Right.
Right. Thanks for that, Benny. Right, moving on. We've got Joe Straw, new signing this season for the Nottingham Vikings. Started training early on in the year during lockdown. I say new signing. Is it official yet, Benny? It might be now, but has he passed the test?
I don't know. I mean, just recently he's been coming out with some really camp sayings, which I don't think quite fit the team, do they, Joe?
I'm still waiting to see me contract for the assistant coaching, to be fair. So it's still
right. Oh, we're going to get on
TBC, Pete.
Yeah.
I told you there's a buy-in. There's a buy-in.
Yeah.
So I've drawn a few questions for you, Joe. Please answer them honestly and open as you want to be.
Hit me.
So first of all, what was it that attracted you to the Vikings coming down to a train session? And how did you find out about the Vikings?
Well, originally I was years and years ago. I looked to play ice hockey, and it was the cost of equipment that really did put me off. I did all the training. I can't remember what it's called now. Ice skating UK or whatever it is. Got up to be able to do it, and then just wasn't digging the price of the equipment, so I never really took it any further than that. And then earlier this year, I was just like, I'm bored and I want something to do, and put it in Google, and there you were, right around the corner in Clifton. So I came down, I think it was February this year that I started coming, and I don't know either of you, Pete, or you, Benny, were there. I think you were there, Mike, on my first session. And I bumped into Daryl, and I went and spoke to the person who runs the centre that we play at, and he said, "Oh, you need to speak to him." And Daryl was the one who took me through everything. Gave me a stick, which was from.
And you came back.
Yeah, it was McGrattan's stick, so his stick was like up here, so I couldn't use that any better than I can use my own stick. But yeah, it was just I just enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I'm still coming.
Brilliant. So it'd be easy to feel overwhelmed at first being surrounded by such a talented group and the pressures that come with being a Vikings player. How did you cope with that?
Oh, very easily. Do you know something? I listened to the Panthers podcast. It was Dylan Olsen, and every time you hear like a player say, "Oh yeah, we've got a good bunch of guys" and all this sort of stuff, and then I never really believe that every time that they say that that's true, but I genuinely do believe that for this club, there's there's not any cliques, there's nothing like that. It's all just sort of, we all just gel and we all do get on really well. So that made it. The skill and everything was just mind blowing, but I just go out there and do my own thing. And I just go out there and say, "Oh, hey everyone," and do my own thing and let them do their thing.
Yeah, nice. So you sort of answered the question there, but were you made to feel welcome when first training session down there? You know, got involved with the lads and girls straight away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Like I've never at any point did I feel like it was it's hostile. I don't know if hostile is the right word, because I don't know if anyone's ever made to feel like it's hostile, but you could go to somewhere new and feel like uncomfortable, and from the second I turned up at that sports centre, it's never happened. So
my next question was there any players or staff that made you feel unwelcome? I'm guessing the answer to that's a no, but no. That's cool. That's good. That's what I like to hear. What would you say to fans that have doubted your arrival, who use quotes such as "meh" and "who is this guy"?
Oh, there's a lot more to come. Don't you worry.
No,
they'll be saying a lot worse than that.
You feel like you've got something to prove to them now?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing so far is that I've just come at the wrong time. Like, we started training for a bit. I've actually only come to see one game, because the day that I went to watch, there wasn't even a second game that time. So I've literally only ever seen the one game and I've got no comparisons. So then we went into lockdown, then we started training outside, and then we finally moved to the courts that we're on at the minute. So the training's been good, but me adapting to the training has just been sort of long, and I'd like to be a bit further along than I am. But
what's the hardest thing you found then? What's the most difficult thing you found?
Hickings Lane.
You are?
By far. Hickings Lane.
Right.
By far and away, the Hickings Lane, getting used to that court was, it took a while, but eventually we all got there, I think, and it was not a problem. The grueler was a bit horrible at the start, but I'm starting to enjoy that now.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. All of it's just it's all sort of, there's some drills that I struggle at. There's some drills that I think I do better at than others. There's some drills that I'm completely shocking at, and other people just seem to piss it. And I'm just like, it's all just part of that's why I go. That's why I train, to be better. That's why I go to GNR8 on a Wednesday, because I'm trying to see the difference and get better at that. And I think everyone's all in the same boat. Obviously, not everyone can come to GNR8. Not everyone can come to every training session, but it doesn't matter. It feels like we're all invested in the team, and that's what I like about it.
Good. Coach Tring seems made the brave move in making you assistant coach. How did that feel when you got the call?
I think I made the call, to be fair.
Right.
I think I told him I was going to be.
You gave him no
coach.
choice.
Yeah. I think it was along the lines of, "It turns out, just let me do it."
Oh, fair play. You enjoying it? You enjoying the role?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it doesn't even feel like a role. The 2 hours that we spend on a Friday night are just gone like that, because everything's just good from start to finish. So
good. And what are your aspirations and goals in ball hockey with the Vikings?
Well, with the Vikings, it's hard. I don't know what my role will be. I don't know where I'm good and where I'm not very good. But as long as I play a part in the team winning and the team, sort of my aspirations are. Yeah. If my role is just taking stats, I'll still do it, as long as it.
Yeah, as long as we need someone on the clipboard. We need someone on the clipboard and providing the drinks at period break. So yeah, Yeah, I think you'd fit the role fine. It was rumored recently that you'd become quite disruptive during the GNR8 fitness sessions, and accused of making up your own rules and exercises, not adhering to rule number 2 on the wall at the GNR8 gym. Listen to your coach. Your reaction to this, please.
My way was better.
Well, if you'd like to expand on that, because Dan had drawn up this brilliant session where everyone's
work of art.
It was a work of art. And refresh your memory. What happened? It was you were meant to do an exercise so many times.
So
you were rowing. You were rowing.
It was the rowing thing that I was on at the time, and there was 6 stations, and you do 1, then a burpee, then 2, then 2 burpees, and 3. Then for the rowing, it was 1 calorie, then do a burpee, then 2 calories, then do a burpee. And by picking up the handles, I was burning calories, and I thought that can't be right because I'm not actually doing any exercise. So I decided to do 10 because I'm actually doing some exercise, then do 10 burpees, equating to 30 burpees. Which wasn't actually, to be fair, you then picked a number out. Dan said, right, I'm going to put 7 down on the board just out of sheer guesswork. And to be fair, when I worked it out, that was actually the right number anyway. So
this could be quite worrying to hear for you, Benny, because at what point do you think this might happen during the game where your player here might start undermining what you've actually told him to go out and do, just because he thinks that might work better?
It's quite concerning when we've got limited shift times and stuff like that. He could turn around and go, I don't care what you think, I'm going to stay out here for another 3 minutes. I know best. I'm going to be the best goal scorer we've got on the team and stuff like that. And that level of arrogance isn't something that fits well in the Vikings roster.
I mean, let me just stop you there. There will be no point in me saying, don't you worry, I'm stopping out here for another 3 minutes.
Yeah,
or
you
I'm the
won't be
best
saying
goal
that because
scorer,
you won't be out
like
there. You won't be out there too, so don't worry
As
about it.
captain, I am concerned that this player may run amok in the games.
In all seriousness, it wasn't anything more than I just thought, this doesn't seem right that I'm picking up the handles and I'm already going down again for a burpee. So I thought I'll just try it this way and see how it goes.
Dan, you were pretty put out by this as well. Ruined the session, really, didn't it?
He ruined my day. He ruined my week. He pissed me off, to be honest.
Success.
I think it might even be the most disturbing moment we've probably had down at the GNR8 gym since opening, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say so. You know, we work with sort of different focus groups of kids who are in the violence reduction network and stuff like that, and we've never had such defiance from them. And then he turns up and does that.
If anything, I'm memorable. You'll never forget me.
Like Hitler.
I'll go down in GNR8 folklore for years to come.
If everyone came just down to the gym and did their own thing, and it'd be chaos. So, yeah.
Not pure gym, are we?
No.
Go there in future. Go there, Joe.
Definitely not. But
had someone try and headbutt the ring.
Oh, God, we had a great week that week, to be fair. We had Joe doing what the hell he wants, like he was dancing around pure gym. You had Chris Benoit turned up for a session, headbutting the ring. It was, we had a bit of an injury that night. All in all, we got there.
You got there, yeah.
Threats made on Facebook towards this week.
Yeah.
But
But Joe, thanks a lot for answering the questions so openly and honestly. Thanks for that, mate, and thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Don't bother turning up today.
Yeah, he might not be back, but who knows? So you may see my background. Last podcast we did, I was in massive hope that the going away from hockey now, that the Lakers would win their 17th title. which we did in the end. We lost both games. I stayed up and watched, so that was disappointing. But I woke up on the Monday morning. We'd got game 4. We won game 6, so winning the series 4-2. Delighted. The reason I bring this up now is because one thing I keep hearing is, and we're going to relate it to hockey, is it starts bringing out debates about the greatest of all time in the sport. So in this instance, you've got LeBron James. Is he better than Michael Jordan? And then in other sports, you've got like ice hockey, you've got Wayne Gretzky, and you've got people like Ovechkin and Crosby around, and
Jerome McGinley.
Yeah, the best. I did actually, just going on that, I did see a thing today on Facebook. It had every team's best player in history, and Jerome McGinley was the Calgary Flames choice. Legend, yeah. But and you've got, so going back to it, you've got now Messi and Ronaldo in football. I get a bit sick of it, to be honest with you, because I think it's difficult to pick someone who's playing in this era of sport to an era like back in the day, like say Michael Jordan's era in basketball was a lot different, I think, now to the style of play and the way basketball's played now. Ice hockey's the same, a lot different back then. It's to what it is now. Football, can you really compare Messi and Ronaldo to Pele, Maradona? I want to get people's thoughts on this, because I get bored of hearing it. I think we should just appreciate greatness at the time that they are great players and they will go down as greats. I don't think we need to be comparing these guys. We just need to tell, and guys and girls should say, but we don't need to be comparing them. Harry, as a footballer, let's focus on football with you. Who do you think along those lines, or you've got a different opinion? Should we be comparing Messi and Ronaldo, or just appreciate them both for who they are now, and let the back in the past, you've got Pele and Maradona, like I said, they were great then. These guys are great now. Let's enjoy them.
I think it's very hard because, personally, I'd say Messi's, one of the greatest athletes ever, to be honest. I think it's difficult, though, because you think in times, how it used to be, a lot of players, I don't know, were a lot less sort of fit. They used to smoke at half time and were well into their drinks and stuff. But at the same time, you look at it on the other hand, these professionals now, they eat dead strict. They're in training every day. Most of them probably have like nutritionists, their own chefs, all of it. I think statistically, I don't think anyone has been above Messi, sort of thing, ever. Whether it's like consistency, like the goals he scores each game, his performances are genuinely like breathtaking most of the time. The awards and trophies that he wins, But that's what I'd say. Ronaldo, I feel like he's conditioned himself to be as good as he is, but talking naturally, I don't think there's a better athlete out there than Messi, to be honest.
That's fair enough. And Dan, coming to your sport now, would there be someone in your sport who's known, other than yourself, obviously, as the potentially the greatest of all time, who can be compared to others in judo? Or
it's hard. I think it's hard. And cheers for that, Pete.
Right.
I think it's hard in judo, especially because it's not one of them sports you can. I've always said, like with judo, you train and train and train, and it's not really like hiring your chances to be the best. You're lowering the chances of getting beat, because it's just one of them sports where you can train your head off. It doesn't matter how, and then one person could just turn some random, number 50 in the world can just get like, a wild card to a world champs or Olympic Games. And, and it has happened. They'll just win it because it's just like right sort of right time for them. It's just like, it can happen. It does happen. It's a hard one to call in judo. You don't really, you've got them stick out players that go years and years without getting beat, but everyone gets beat. Everyone does get beat at some point. But But yeah, it's a hard one. I think I like the sort of appreciation of people in that time, because you're always going to get advances in technology and in strength and conditioning. You're always going to get, changes in rules that are going to suit different teams and players at that moment in time. And it's hard to say. I couldn't say. If you dropped me in the 1920s, how good would I have been at judo then? Or how good would Messi have been? Like, he probably still wouldn't have got in the Liverpool team in the 70s, but like, that's a given. He's up against Ian Rush and Kenny Dalglish. He's got no chance. And but yeah, Dirk
Cow.
That's it, Dirk Cow. He probably would have made it into that team, to be fair, but Messi wouldn't. He's scum. But it's I'd prefer like appreciating sort of players where and when they are. There's no point comparing them like that.
No, 100%. And Benny, I've seen you nodding your head there. You're in agreement, like, let's talk ice hockey, for example. Gretzky and other greats around that area. You've got people like Messier and stuff like that in the 90s. Gretzky is known as the greatest, and is what he did, he will be seen as that. I don't think anyone comes close to him as such, as a great in his prime. But you've got people like Ovechkin and Crosby that have been more recent times. But can you really compare them to him?
I don't know, because you have to look at how the game was played when Gretzky was around.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. There was a lot more fighting at that sort of thing, and if you're skating out of the way of someone throwing a big hit, obviously you're going to be thrown out of position a lot more. So obviously he's going to have a lot more time and space to do what he needs to do to the goalie. But with equipment changes over the years and stuff like that, if you stuck Gretzky on the ice now, with the likes of Ovechkin and Crosby, along with us as well, how would he perform at his prime then versus now? I think as athletes move forward, and as Dan said, with strength and conditioning changing and nutrition advancements and stuff like that, I don't know how people in the past will compare to now and vice versa. You've just got to almost, like as Dan said, they're great at that time. Let's appreciate it. And actually, when they go into the Hockey Hall of Fame or the Hall of Fame for whatever sport it is, it's celebrating them for their moment, and it's showing like a history of how we develop as a human race in sport as general.
One thing that occurred to me as well is, and it goes, me, Dan, and Harry had this conversation over a few drinks last night. We were trying to pick a team. I can't remember what were we trying to pick it for. It was we started picking strikers, for example, midfielders, and there's been a lot of greats out there, a lot of good players, and it's just hard. And you also look at positioning as well. So the people that score the goals, whether it be hockey, how many points score in basketball, and how many goals score in football, they're the guys that get noticed. Where actually, defensive players, and we've had this sort of discussion on a podcast before, where defensive players don't always get the credit they deserve because they ain't scoring the goals, they ain't scoring the points, but they're doing a great job and a brilliant job in that position. That's also got to be in thought as well. Someone can be good at what they do, but they don't necessarily show it on a points or goal scoring. What do you think? Does that, Mike?
Yeah, it depends on the criteria. I mean, I know like snooker is probably the most boring sport next to the chess, probably, but just possibly why I stopped playing it. But if you take Alex Higgins, Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry, and Ronnie O'Sullivan, everyone's heard of them, and there's ongoing debate about who is the greatest of all time. Now, a lot of people might say it's Alex Higgins just for, what he did for the sport and how entertaining he was to watch. Yet he didn't win as many world titles as Davis and Hendry. At least I don't think he did. So it's it depends on the criteria for me. I don't think you can rate a greatest of all time on just achievements alone.
No. Joe, just quickly, have you got picked a favourite ball hockey player of all time as of yet, or have you not been in the game long enough? Have you been watching the game from afar?
I haven't been in the game long enough, but I'm going to have to say it's my captain.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. That must have been
Horrible.
Just to confirm, I wasn't asking for him to add that reason, but he fell for it. Well done. Yeah, I'll just send me your bank details. Right, yeah, that was just an interesting conversation we had to have there, because it's something that comes up quite a bit and came up with the Lakers winning the title. And yeah, I just get fed up of hearing it. So I was interested to see what you guys want to say. Dan, a couple of weeks ago, you shocked many of us with your encyclopedia of knowledge regarding the Calgary Flames. Have you got anything else for us this time?
No.
Right, moving on swiftly then.
Deep insight.
There's still. Last time I checked, they were still stuck in third on 79 points, or whatever
That's
it was.
right. Been there a while.
I moved.
Quite interestingly, though, Dan's Falcons are currently playing Mike's Lions at the minute, and it's 22 apiece.
In fact,
Birds.
the Lions are 23-22 up now.
Are they?
Yeah.
So
That's
Mike's
finished.
got the upper hand over Dan.
That's officially finished. 23-22 to Detroit.
Yeah, unlucky.
Well done, Mike.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Mike?
Oh, ecstatic, mate. If I wasn't on here, I would have been watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Is that your first win, Mike?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Does he know? I think he's just hoping there. Looks a bit unsure.
That was said with confidence and conviction.
Can you give us any information, latest news on the Detroit Lions, other than the fact that they just won? Any who's their greatest player?
I've just been right busy recently. I haven't been following it as much as I should. I've been training a lot. I've just been,
Okay. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. We'll move on from that then, shall we? So I was in the car the other day, and me and Harry had just been training. This is going to move on to our next subject. So me and Harry had just been training, doing a bit of coaching down the gym, and he asked me out of the blue, have I ever been a referee in a football match? And my answer was no. I've been linesman a couple of times. And then he went on to tell me this story about that. It's safe to say it's the one and only time you've ever been a referee in a football game, Harry.
Yeah.
I want you to tell these guys a story, because we've kept it from them. I found it hilarious. So, we'll see what happens with you lot. I just found it hilarious. The ending bit is just, it just made me laugh. It couldn't have gone worse for you, to be honest with you. But I'll let you tell the story from start to finish. Over to you, Harry.
Well, to be honest, at the time I was doing my level 3 BTEC at Loughborough College in sport. And I was playing for Loughborough Dynamo's under 18s, and I thought, just before I go to uni, it'd be good to get as much sort of experience out there with whatever. And our football manager came back and said, they do it every year. Loughborough Dynamo are running this massive kids sort of tournament, and they're looking for volunteer sort of referees. And I thought, it might look quite good on my CV. I thought, yeah, I'll put my name down for that. And I remember my other teammate did it as well. I thought, that'd be good, Saturday morning sort of thing. And my manager, I think at the time as well, said, if you do it, it'll help me out. I'll even pay you for it sort of thing. So I thought, yeah, all right, fair enough. What could go wrong? So I think in total, I'd refereed about 3 games on the tournament, and it was under 10s. So I thought, under 10s, what could, just be a bit of fun sort of thing. And I remember the first game went by, and there was a mass brawl right in the middle of it. And you're saying, under 10s kids, I did not expect that. There was a massive fight that kicked off in the middle. I'm stood there with not even a proper sort of football whistle, one of them ones that you squeeze.
You
And
have to use your
they're
fingers.
running around the centre of the pitch, squeezing out, going, "What on earth is going on?" All the fans are there getting me. It's like, oh my god, like
What caused it, Harry?
do I break them up? I don't know, just like a tackle and then a bit of shoving, and so that was the first game. I thought, right, well, it can't get any worse.
Lost control of that one completely.
Yeah, lost control of that one. Was just like, all right, we'll see how it goes. I can't get any worse than that. The second game, I can remember I'd made a lot of bad decisions. I got a lot of abuse actually from the people on the side. And I'm thinking, these are parents with their kids playing, and like I was proper getting a load of stick. The full-time whistle went there, and I thought, oh, you know what? Compared to the last game, like this is all right. It's manageable. But
were they bad decisions though, or were you made to believe they were bad decisions based on the parents' reactions?
That's it. Maybe not. I really don't know, to be honest. At this point, I just wanted the day to end. I thought there's no amount of money that's going to make me want to do this again. Also, I thought in the final match was the biggest one. Just as I thought, the day couldn't get it any worse. I had not made a single, and I knew this wasn't the fans, I did not make a single correct decision for the entirety of the game. I became like a centre of attention where, I had the parents on the side just like giving me all sorts of abuse, and I was just stood in the centre.
Not about you, Ref. It's not about you.
I genuinely thought like the loneliest man in the world. And I thought, fair play to the fans, giving that much passion into an under-10s football sort of tournament. And then, just as it was, I let a lot of fouls slide, I can remember, in the last game, just because I was afraid of actually making the decisions. It started getting towards the end of the game, and right in the dying moments, I'm getting all this abuse. And in my head, I can remember thinking, like, I could do with just, making a good, brave decision here, like, just do it sort of proudly, whatever. And straight away, I'm stood, believe it or not. This will give you a bit of an inkling onto, like, why my refereeing abilities probably weren't up to scratch. This lad ran into the box with a ball, and I was stood, I'd say, between the halfway line and the edge of the box. Not the clearest of view. And I just see a tangle of legs and then one guy go down. I thought straight away, there's my decision. So I'm there squeezing that whistle like a maniac, going, right, foul, penalty. And literally I just get uproar, and I thought, oh, you know what, expected. They're giving me crap all sort of game. And then but I'm just sort of looking around, and I'm noticing that the team that I awarded the penalty to, their fans were giving me stick as well. What's going on here? And their player gets up, and so the guy had just been fouled, and he comes up and he goes, "Oh, that wasn't a foul, that wasn't a foul." And I'm thinking, "Oh no, like shut up, just take the penalty." So I'm getting all this abuse, this uproar, and I'm like, "Oh God, final game, final thing," and like I'm getting all sorts of abuse, and I can remember anyway, just as it sort of settled down, I was like, look, this is my decision. I'm sick of it now. Take the sodding penalty. Like, you got the penalty. It's
no VAR back then.
My decision. Game over. So anyway, the lad, he steps up, puts the penalty on the spot, and then the manager calls him over, and I'm thinking like, what's going on here? So he like runs over to the manager, the penalty kick taker, has a little word in his ear, runs back to the penalty spot, gets the ball. And like I blow the whistle for him to take the penalty, and he just passes it back to the keeper. The keeper picks it up. Everyone's applauding, everyone on the sideline. The parents are clapping. Everyone's going, "Oh, fair play!" And I'm stood in the middle of the pitch, feeling like an absolute lemon. I'm like, "Wow, sod this." Game ended, and I can remember just grabbing the whistle, like grabbing the football, and I practically ran off the pitch. I don't even want
I could just imagine it happening.
Red face, and that wasn't from running around. Like, I barely moved all game, stood in the sodding centre.
So, to put it into...
again. That's the last time I've ever refereed or volunteered to referee a game.
I feel like this is important here. When this penalty was taken, what was the score?
1-1.
So it was that bad decision. You've got people who you've given the penalty to. You've got the players coming over to you saying that weren't a penalty, like Robbie Fowler did that time.
Really bad decision. Must have been a really bad decision, because I know if that was me, even at under nines, I know they're on about fair play and respect. Even after the manager, if he'd called me over, I knew I'd have put that ball on the penalty spot and absolutely smashed it as hard as I could to try and smack it in the net. But fair play to the kid, like doing as his manager said. But I just thought, oh, for sake. Like,
it was the ice on the cake, really, for the day, wasn't it? That I mean,
complete and utter embarrassment. It was, never again.
I mean, to be honest, I felt it was when you were telling me the story. That was the ice on the cake, but I felt more and more sorry for you as the story went on.
Yeah.
Like I don't like.
I do feel like
But then again,
I do feel like it's a little bit of karma though, because I'm always the one first over like to the referee going, "Oh, what you doing? Like you ain't got a clue." Sort of thing. Who's paying your wages?
I mean,
I just feel like it was
1-1 as well to probably the penalty to win the game, and their manager the manager tells them to just pass it back to the goalkeeper. And you've got the fans of the team who you're giving the penalty to berating you for giving the penalty to their team.
Yeah.
That's how bad it got.
I can remember, even though, like I said, I left pretty abruptly, but I can remember as I ran off the pitch, you know, I can remember like one of the lads' older brothers was stood there with his mates on their bikes, and at the time, you know, they were probably same age as me. And I can remember them going like, "What the fuck was that referee doing?"
Yeah, I can imagine.
Do you know what the story I thought he was going to tell? You know, he said like there was a tangle of legs and the players went down in the box and that. I thought when they both stood up, they were both going to be on the same side.
And the defending side, so foul in the other way.
To be honest, I reckon if there were any more games that day, you know, I wouldn't have put it past me making the decision for the same player.
I think you made a wise decision. I mean, I do feel for you in a sense from that. I mean, you were 16 years old at the time?
So 15, 16, yeah.
15, 16. So, you're a young lad there. And I tell you now, from my experience of playing football at youth level and things like that, parents were just the worst. Like, they got, and they still are now from a lot of things I hear. They get far too involved. You know, you've got too many people thinking their son or daughter is the next best thing since sliced bread, and the abuse that they give, officials. It's. I mean, I've never officiated. I've been on the line for a couple of games, running the line.
That's great. Either is it
football, and that wasn't very enjoyable either. I think towards the end of me playing football, I was on the bench quite a bit, and I used to run a mile, to be honest with you, when they're asking people to run the line if the linesman hadn't come or something like that. Yeah. I didn't want to do the job, so I always say fair play to. And then when playing ball hockey, I like to stay respectful to the officials. You have to, because I've been in games where they've took stick from my team, and but it's not good because it can come back. It can come back to haunt you.
I do have a feeling though, like I don't. I feel like if they are qualified and they've been doing it all their life, you are more likely gonna say something if they're making a wrong decision. But a volunteer at a kids' tournament sort of thing, or any parent volunteering to do the line or anything should never get any stick. I feel like you should stand around and going, "Go on, then, do you want to do it?"
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that exactly.
Yeah. Have you refereed a ball hockey game, Pete?
No, never. I wouldn't. It's not something that's ever appealed to me, to be honest with you. Mainly because I don't think I know all the rules. I kind of just go with you have to get the ball in the goal and go with it. I mean, I got
first captain.
I always think fair play to the guys and girls that do it. It's not something that appeals to me. Yeah, I'd always
rescind my earlier comment.
Say again.
I'm going to have to rescind my earlier comment about you being the best ball hockey player I've seen. Now you just said you don't even know all the rules.
Well, I mean, if you see me play, that obviously doesn't really matter, does it? Because I've obviously I've impressed you enough without knowing the rules, and playing and refereeing are two different things. So
you just do what I do at Generate. You just turn up and do your own thing, and it works.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I thought thanks for sharing that with us, Harry. A truly awful moment in your life, but brave enough to come on and tell us. You're injured at the minute, aren't you? You're injured at the moment. You suffered a bad injury during pre-season. how long are you out? When you're back, I know you're well on the way to recovery. You've been doing a lot of training down at the gym to get back to full fitness. Just give us a bit of a update on where you're at.
To be honest with you, I felt I didn't really know how serious it was. I think I underestimated like the recovery time. Obviously, it doesn't always help when I'm, like jumping around, or like training, doing stuff at Generate. But I just think it's strengthening it at the same time. There's been a couple of weeks, I'd say, not as much last week, but the week before, there was times where like it was genuinely like just swelling up, even after like working and stuff. And I thought, I might need to be careful. But I think this week, like it's made a lot of the swelling again has gone down. It's made like, I think I'm looking on the road to recovery. I'm more worried about, there's a lot of stuff that I can do now where, just all the normal stuff. But I think, just running for a long distance, like it's going to play up. Like I cannot run properly still yet. I can do like little short bursts and stuff like that. But I think to be back playing football on it, I'm probably looking at another 3 or 4 weeks, maybe like, I don't know, 6 weeks probably.
It's been good, like seeing your recovery down at the gym and your progression. Like you say, you thought you'd come back and started a little bit too soon, maybe. But yeah, mate, just keep going on it and wish you all the best for when you get back to playing and for Sileby Town as well. We've obviously done with Generate some work with Sileby Town in pre-season, and like you were saying earlier, they've had a really good start to the season, and hopefully they can push on and hopefully win a league this year. And it'll be all down to the Generate coaches, obviously.
Can I just check? Has Dan gone to sleep? Oh, hang on.
No, he's still there. I'm just finishing on him. Dan, I'm finishing off with you now because you've done really well. We won't go too much into the kind of night me, you, and I had last night. You've obviously come out of it the worst. So we're gonna just finish off with the Generate news. It's been a really good week down at the gym. Again, we've had the morning sessions.
We're still open.
Yeah, still going.
Still open, just.
Yeah, and the evenings have been good as ever. Just give us a bit of a lowdown on what we've been doing this past week and what we've got coming up this week. We've got good times ahead.
Yeah, this week's bit. Yeah, who's just left? Who's left?
Mike.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Start that again, mate.
I'm struggling.
Get a whiskey.
The worst thing was this morning getting up. It took 3 attempts to get out of bed. Each attempt was like me getting closer to becoming more human. I got up. I was like, no, I'm back down again. I got up this time. Got dressed. I got back down again. I got up again, came downstairs, lied on the couch. All right. Edward walked up to me with a half-drank bottle of Jack Daniels. Right, just going, tar? I am. I'm the most hungover man in Europe. Yeah. I'm so ill. This is like if you could have a hangover which made you terminal, this would be it.
He's the illest man in Europe, and there's a global pandemic going on.
We can reveal that. Dan was actually a game time decision on whether he was actually going to be a part of this podcast or not. It's been that bad for him today, but
it's been. You will not believe this, but I've been rock climbing today.
What?
I pulled a leather sofa up the stairs. That woke me up. That got me over any issues I had from last night. But
this rock climbing didn't do me any favors.
I wouldn't. I'd rather pull a leather sofa up the stairs.
I didn't even have the grip strength to turn the doorknob in my bedroom this morning. Like, never mind, hold my own body. It's been quite an emotional day, but we've got there. Anyway, on the gym front, back to that nonsense. It's been a good week. We've done some really good sessions with the team youth group down in Leicester. They've been spot on, keeping them occupied over half term. We've also been a little bit quieter than usual in the evenings. I think people have chosen this time to go on holiday and stuff, but then Friday was absolutely banging. Me and Harry ran the gym on Friday, and it was the energy in the room again was like absolutely spot on. Got a few new members down there as well this week. So yeah, up and up, and there's going to be more new exciting things coming for GNR8 hopefully by the end of this year, which we've got in the pipeline at the minute.
And just coming up this next week, we're doing something for Halloween, aren't we?
Oh, it's kicking off, to be fair. Halloween looks like a good one. We're having a bit of a spooky Saturday party down at the gym. We got DJ Pete on the decks with his Halloween mix, and we're just going to be having a trick or treat night. It's going to be good fun. The treats are the fact that there's no treats. That's the trick. It's just a load of burpees for an hour.
Yeah, we were putting up with some of these last night, weren't we? And there's potentially some absolute gruelers in there. So
it's going to be a good night.
Yeah,
it's going to be a good night.
Forward to it. I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks very much for everyone for joining us. Mike, Benny, and Dan, as usual. Dan, you can go to bed now. Do what you need to do. You've done so well getting here, mate.
Thank you.
And Joe and Harry, thank you very much for joining us today. You're welcome back anytime. You've been great fun. So we started off on a negative front, but I feel like it got better as time went on. Do we agree?
And then I brought it down again.
You brought it down. So yeah, at least we got that positive stuff in the middle there. But no, we're happy with that. So
a cheese sandwich, because we wouldn't have meat in a sandwich, would we, Pete?
Yeah, I'd have some ham.
That's for next week.
But yeah, thanks very much for listening or watching us on YouTube. Catch us on Spotify, YouTube, all the other downloaded podcasts, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care. Goodbye.